Okay. All right. Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to my first edition of this webinar about software development, and I will try to cover both management practices and software developer practices in order to create better code and better software together. So today we're going to talk about Git Rebase. So Git Rebase is a great tool for making sure that you have a linear history in your Git repository. So instead of having a lot of merges, like when you start a feature branch like this, and then there are people creating commits in your base branch, be it a master or dev or another branch. Um, you know, um, instead of doing this, we will have a clean history like that. Because what we'll do is we will take those commits here and then move them on top of the commit history of the base branch. It offered many benefits. So I guess the simplest benefits is it will look a lot cleaner, a lot simpler. When you look at the history, it will be very easy to see who introduced which feature or which bug fix or which new bug. And also, it will not create those merge commits like this. Because maybe one person was the author of these commits in the feature branch, or the bug fix branch, and then but maybe someone else created this merge commit in the base branch. So it will give the false impression that someone else made these changes, whereas it's this author, the author of these commits, that really contributed to these changes. So it will really simplify things by allowing you to know who contributed which code, and it will make the history cleaner. There's also another benefit, is that it's going to be easy to know when regression has been introduced. Like, for example, when someone broke the build, like there's unit tests, and they no longer pass, then we want to know exactly what introduced this regression. So let's get started, and then I'll talk a bit more about the benefits when we get there. So so I just made a single commit. I can show you this commit. So there you go. So this is the commit I just made in my feature branch. My feature branch is called feature feet to meters. Okay, so this is my commit. So now what I'm going to do, just to make things easier, I'm going to edit directly the code on GitHub. This is possible. I mean, this is not recommended, but that's something you can do. That's possible. So I'm just going to edit here. So I'm simulating someone who someone who edits the code in a the upstream branch. So I'm doing another git commit here, basically. This thing, I'm going to for 8, just doing something similar to what I have done. So meter to feet, does this look right? I think this could be simplified. So instead I will use multiplication because they are slightly faster. 2, 8, 0, 4. There you go. So I'm doing another commit here. I'm committing it directly to the dev branch just to show how to deal with those. So now, if we check my history here, I'm still at my fourth commit here. And if I pull the changes, let me switch branch, like git checkout dev, git pull origin dev. So I'm pulling the changes from the remote dev, the upstream dev branch. Now, what if I want to benefit from these changes into my feature branch, into this feature meter branch? I can merge it, but instead, what we're going to do is rebase it. So rebase will take my commits and put them linearly on top of the commits on the dev branch. So I'm going to git checkout this feature branch. And then git rebase -i dev. So this is the Git interactive rebase interface. So it just launched my favorite text editor, which is Vim. And then it's asking me which commits I want to include in my rebase. And then I can squash them. So squashing means I can merge two commits together and meld them into one. Like it will merge, meld two commits together. So basically rebase allows you to rewrite history. And that's very handy. If you, the word here will tell git rebase what you are going to do with each commit. So in this case, we only have one commit. So we can pick it, we can reword it, we can edit the commit, squash, we can do all these things, or we can drop it. We don't have to take all the commits. We can pick only a few or squash some. Squashing will meld the commit into the previous commit that you've picked. So for now, let's just pick that single commit. Oh, there's a problem. There's a problem. So there was a conflict. No, I made it by intent because this happens all the time. So you really need to know how to merge the conflicts or resolve the conflicts. So it says here that, okay, there's an error starting here. Conflict. merge conflict in, well, it's a rebase conflict, but it says merge conflict because it's very similar. Like the conflicts for a merge, a git merge or a git rebase are managed or dealt with in the same way. So I'm trying to merge src length. Like this file has a conflict because some changes were conflicting with my changes I've made locally. So I could not apply this this git commit. So what it tells me here, it tells me to resolve all the conflicts and then mark them as resolved by doing git add and then git rebase continue. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to edit this file here. Then we're going to see, I have conflict here. So these equal signs and these arrows here, these indicate the beginning and the end of a conflict. So there's many places where we have conflict. So there's one here, and there's one there. So what we're going to do, this in this case, this is pretty simple. I think we can just yeah. Well, I'll do it by hand because so you could use a higher level tool like meld to merge, or like any three-way diffs. Like I know in Windows there's a I forget how it's called. Anyway, there's some three-way diff tools that are really useful. So as you see now, there's no more mark of a git conflict. So I should be done. So what I'll do, I'll add this file and then git status. I think I can show, yeah, I can do a git rebase continue now because I'm done with fixing those. Then it asks me what my commit message is, because this is a new commit, because it's like I took my old commit and I'm moving it up so that it's on top of the new branch of the dev branch in my branch. So this is this is a chance for me to change my commit message. But no, I think this looks good. So if I show you my history, you can see that I've took this commit from the remote upstream branch, and then here's my new commit in my branch that I made it before. I made this commit before that one, but now it appears as if it was newer. So and now I have the nice linear history that I like. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to push that branch to GitHub, and then I'm going to do a pull request, and I'm going to show you how to also do a rebase with the pull request feature of GitHub. So here's my pull request that I'm creating. So I want to merge this branch into the dev branch. So I'm going to create a pull request.